Hey, all, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and I'm joined by Squeaks.
Squeaks.
We have so much to talk about today. It's a crazy day. We're talking Lorcana. We're talking Has-Been Hotel. We've got a review for Gen V, Cyberpunk, Ahsoka, of course. I hate that you have Lorcana cards, dude.
Not the fact that I have actually one deck fully built with multiple starter decks. That's how I roll. Yeah. To make sure I can maximize on each card, and I have another starter deck as well. So you know,
I go to my comic book shops; they almost laugh at me, like they're like, "You know, bro." It's
Oh man, thanks to Sammy. Anyway,
let's first bust out from the Geek Box. Question for you: kaiju or aliens? Which do you prefer?
No specific alien.
Nope, or no specific kaiju.
Okay. Oh fuck, dude. I don't know. Aliens.
Aliens. I'm gonna advance on. I'm gonna add to this question: which do you think the United States government can destroy better, aliens or kaiju?
Kaiju.
I think we could fuck up a kaiju. I
kind of
want kaiju just to like softly attack us, so we can fuck it up.
Can we test this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we just get one Godzilla?
Yeah, kaiju, right? I would think so, because let's just use Godzilla for example. Okay, I think he might be more, a little slower, right? There's no technology advancements that they have to worry about. Maybe to what the aliens have. I'm thinking XCOM aliens, maybe. So I think we could respond pretty quick. I think
so. I mean, there's one thing we're good at is bombing stuff, and so if you give us a big lizard to hit, like Godzilla is like a really good version of a kaiju too. If we're talking Pacific Rim, we got this. Like those guys are nothing. So I think we got this for sure. I'm totally rooting for kaiju now.
That's funny. That's funny. How about that Apple TV series that is coming out for Godzilla?
How good does that look, dude? Monarch.
Oh,
cannot wait for that.
Oh my goodness, that looks amazing. I'm ready for a good Godzilla, but I'm also really excited for the next Kong vs. Godzilla, as long as they keep this shitty ass humans out of it aspect. But that's probably not going to happen.
They keep adding them though. What do you think about that? The Japanese is Godzilla minus, I think it's called. That's kind of within that vein.
Yeah. So kind of what I'm hearing a little bit about it, because that's not released yet, right? From my understanding. Yeah. So what it kind of looks like is going to be they're going to use a lot of political things that's happening with current day Japan. Which I don't know if I'm really into, for the fact that I'm here to see Godzilla. I don't give a fuck about your problems, because I want to see your problems get fucking wiped by the tail of Godzilla.
Oh, God.
Just he can be crying about whatever situation that's going on. Whoa, right? No worries anymore.
You're ready for classic Godzilla 2000, where you just see something just stomp on shit. That's all. It doesn't matter. Nothing else.
I just want to see big ass monsters fighting each other. I don't need no storyline shit. Yeah.
It's wasted. All right. As for the network, real quick, guys, we have 3 challenge acceptance coming out this week: Ahsoka, Loki, and Gen V. Gen V's out now. Ahsoka will be out very soon, so make sure you check those out. Headlines comes out every day. That's on TikTok, YouTube, Reels. Yes, and Reels is actually blowing up a little bit. And I know people are like, Frank, why do you only do videos on Instagram anymore? Because it's the only damn thing that works on Instagram anymore. And then there's a podcast version of it. So link in the description, guys. You can actually subscribe to that podcast. And it does really well. And then Outlast Podcast is back last week. So it's all firing on all cylinders over here at Geek Freaks Network, guys. Check it out. Moving on, let's get into the news. First off, we lost Michael Gambon. This is Dumbledore. I know you're a Harry Potter man. What do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty upsetting.
Yeah.
Not to laugh at this, but I kind of did this thing for Hagrid, because we just lost Hagrid here recently, and it's a bummer. Honestly, I had to call in to work a couple times, losing family members and then whatnot, so I had to take a day of grievance myself. But it's sad, right? To see anyone that you've watched over so many years on your screen. My curiosity though is I wonder. Hagrid is in the Universal ride in Florida,
right?
Which is Hagrid motorcycle, and they did this pretty beautiful thing where they had flowers and stuff like that next to his animatronic. So I'm curious if anything big will come after that. But besides all that, it is upsetting. It's almost like what really hit me hard was when Rob Williams passed away, because that's someone that for sure grown up with it for so many years. So for how many times I do my Harry Potter marathons, it is, man, it's crazy, right? We lost both Dumbledores, really.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just wild. It almost doesn't seem real.
That's a really good way to put it. Yeah, and he did such a good job taking over the role. I mean, I know that he was in that from the second movie on, so really it was mostly his role. But yeah, he did such a good job, and that Dumbledore is a tricky character in my opinion, because in the first movies he's like, oh, he's just this like really cool, obviously senior wizard that's looking after Harry. But then by the end, he's almost like on the same like level in a way as Harry. Like he's also in the shit with Harry, and so they have this different relationship where, you see the flaws in Dumbledore, and it was really cool to see this kind of older person that you had looked up to as infallible, also with his own problems. And then, yeah, it was pretty cool. So
honestly, with Dumbledore, I call it the young Yoda, old Yoda, right? Mm-hmm. The first episodes, you got the old Yoda in the forest. Why? It's not much actiony, right? Just teaching. Yeah. And then the second one, right? You got Yoda fucking backflips and shit, fighting Count Dooku. Yeah. So that's how I like to. That's how I honestly think of it. Just a little inside joke for myself. But yeah, such a bummer, man.
That sucks. So, moving on. James Gunn does reveal that we have 3 characters joining the DCU from the past thing. So it's Peacemaker, Amanda Waller, and Blue Beetle. Did you get a chance to watch Blue Beetle yet?
Yeah, I did. Okay. I enjoyed it. Did you get it? Yeah. Did you watch it yet?
Not yet.
Oh man, see, I think it's kind of okay for the last 2 films, 2 for 2 for me with DC, and that'd be The Flash and Blue Beetle. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed Blue Beetle. There was some parts where it was like, this needs to be taken out. It's corny, not needed, stupid, whatever. I'm not gonna get into it. But overall, I really like Blue Beetle. I like that he is continuing on with the DC EU. Yeah.
Yeah. How are they gonna do Peacemaker with him like literally having one-on-ones with Aquaman and Flash?
Yeah.
How are you gonna handle that?
I will say, I went to WWE in Sacramento actually this last weekend, and John Cena was supposed to be there, right? And I'm taking pictures of him in the ring, and I'm looking at my pictures like, I don't see anyone. I just took a picture of an empty ring. I don't get it. Yeah,
that's a good joke. I get it. That's a good joke. As somebody who's a glancing wrestling fan, it did take me a second to get it, but yeah.
Oh, man, but anyway.
You were dying at your own joke.
Okay. Anyway, oh gosh. So, I don't know, but I want to see it because I freaking love Peacemaker.
By the way, you're such a fucking dad. That's such a dad joke right there. You had thought about that a while.
Well, with my new iPhone 15 Plus Pro Max, I was able to zoom all the way from the top and get pictures of him, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to send this picture out to everyone and be like, I was trying to take a picture of John Cena, but all I see is an empty ring. Oh my God. But I don't know how it'll work, and I really don't give a shit because I love Peacemaker. So,
yeah.
But I really... okay, so we got a lot of the feelings of Peacemaker from the series itself. I really love Peacemaker when it came from the Suicide movie. And I don't know, man. I mean, I like John Cena as an actor. I'm saying it. He just plays the role of a beefy, not as intellectual human being, and it's perfect. And
super relatable in that way. I didn't think I would be like relating to John Cena, but the fact that he's just like, look, I'm not Superman. I'm not rich like Batman. Yeah. I got guns and I'm good at them. Like it's some way that's relatable. I love that.
Now, we don't have no plans, right, for Peacemaker, correct? We just know
scripts are being written right coming
out. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh man, well, if you had to see him in the big screen, right? What would be like something that you want to see him as or team up with, or like what scenario would he be in on a big screen, right?
I would like to see him and Booster Gold like go at it. I think Booster Gold would be a fun counterpart to him.
And they just announced that Booster Gold was something, right?
Well, I mean, if they're gonna do more Blue Beetle, eventually Booster Gold and Cord, the last Blue Beetle, will be teamed up at some point. I mean, that's gonna have to happen.
Now, So I'm reading the Blue Beetle Rebirth series.
Mhm.
I know it's fairly old, but I really enjoyed the Rebirths when it was originally was
Me
released.
too.
But have you had a chance to check out the Blue Beetle one?
No, no. Okay.
Okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
So far. Yeah. I'm like almost done with the first volume. And he works a lot with I'm assuming the last Blue Beetle. Because he's like the technology guy, and then
Yeah,
Blue
that's
Beetle
awesome.
himself is like, hey, I'm the Spider-Man guy, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I really like that relationship. Like I want to see just Blue Beetle himself, you know? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not really
yeah.
a fan of it. That's just me though.
I think after a little bit, I don't, I'm not positive on it, but I think after a bit, we'll have two Blue Beetles working simultaneously, like we have multiple
You think so?
Spider-Man. Yeah, that
Okay,
scratch different
okay.
feels. Like Miles Morales and and Peter Parker feel like different Spider-Man, and they work in different ways, but they're both Spider-Man. I think we're gonna have the same
Yeah.
thing with Blue Beetle, because if you
Okay.
want kind of a light-hearted version of Batman, that's your core Blue Beetle, and then Zolo can
Mhm.
play the one that's like young punk street cred stuff. I don't know. I sound old
Yeah,
now.
but then, but then I feel like oh fuck, you lost my train of thought now because you said that remark. All this hell. Oh, are we just gonna get the comparison the whole time of like Blue Beetle is basically just Spider-Man? Because we already got some of that feel already when the trailers were released.
Yeah, we get that
For
with
the movie.
Daredevil sometimes too, though. Or not Daredevil, Deadpool sometimes. Well, Daredevil too. But yeah, I mean, I think that
Deadpool
just
was
is
too.
bound to happen because they look so similar. Like we get that all the time, where it's like, oh, Daredevil's like we always
Um,
like, oh, Deadpool just looks like Spider Man, but he's not, and it's a common thing amongst media. But I think for those of us who actually enjoy the movies, we know that the personalities are different, and
yeah,
many things are different.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
Moving on, we talked about how they're already writing the script for season 2 for Peacemaker. All that's because the WGA and the AMPTP reached a tentative deal, basically saying the strike is over, so we can finally get back to writing some projects. What is it that you're wanting to hear is being worked on now? Peacemaker 2 was high on my list. I would like to get some answers for the next 2 Avengers movies, because we either need to recast King or we need to do some serious work on who the new villain's going to be.
Yeah. Okay, okay. What do I want to see? I want to see something that doesn't fucking suck. Okay, so like some of the stuff that maybe we've been getting. So I hope you guys really you know worked out your talent skills as well. Anyway, oh shots. Sorry. Okay. But what do I want to see? What do I want to see? What do I want to see? Okay. So 100%. What are we gonna do with Marvel? I feel like we're getting lost.
Yeah, we
I
definitely
feel
are.
like it's not there. You guys passed your prime. Okay, it's over.
Mhm.
Okay, get it. DC now is finally hopefully starting their prime with James Gunn helming it and some
Yeah.
promising with the promising future when it comes to conversation. But I would like to see a better Batman family. Let's do it.
The whole
Okay.
Bat family,
The
yeah, I like that
whole
idea.
family. Bring them on. Bring them on. Give me that Batgirl in that latex suit. I was kidding. I was kidding. I
Now
was
there's
kidding.
rumors. Okay, so first off, Damian Wayne is my favorite, probably member of the Bat family outside of Batman.
Uh,
There's rumors that Timothy Chalamet might be playing Damian. What are your thoughts on that? Because people either love him or they hate him. I think he's gonna be a real bad Wonka, but I like him in Dune a lot.
I do like him in Doom, and I don't think why are people? What have you heard about the Wonka? Like,
Oh, it just looks
bad. I
like
think
shit to me. It was so crazy when
Really?
I saw that trailer. Did you watch the trailer?
I'm actually kind of excited for it.
Oh man, it felt like Cats too, man. I was like, oh, what is this?
Oh
It's so
man,
bad.
no! I'm actually kind of excited for it, except for the part where they were eating chocolate and they started floating in the air. I'm like, oh fuck, man. But I'm actually kind of excited for it. Uh, I don't know, man. Do you think that's a little too old for Damien?
It might be. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, because if you're gonna do that age of a Damien, then you're gonna need definitely a Nightwing that's fully, visualized and done. You're gonna need a Red Hood at that point too. I mean, like you have to actually have the Bat family pretty old. You can't like let them build up at all.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I don't want to bring up like one of the like Will Byers from like Stranger Things. I don't know his real name so well. But maybe someone fresh, really. Um,
Someone fresh, we would need even younger than Will. I think even if we wanted
yeah,
to really kind of. Because personally, I think if you got to do the story of Red Hood becoming Red Hood. Like that's such a good story of the Bat family.
Oh yeah,
taking in a fallen brother, you know, and trying to curve some of this anger that's in him. Like that's all good stuff. And so if you're gonna do that, you need a younger Bruce. I mean, you need a younger Damien and a not too old Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be younger.
Dick Tracy.
Those comics are coming out now. They've rebooted the comics for that. That's why I was thinking that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Something there. So besides superhero, though, I'm trying to think of something. Right? What can be done that's something different than superheroes? Right? We already know that.
Yeah.
They have to work. Let's see. I'm trying to think of something myself.
New Indiana Jones without Harrison Ford. Something like that.
Oh my God. Man, I was so mad when I saw the Bat. I didn't even get to see it. I didn't want to see it yet because of the bad reviews, so I'll wait for it to be free. But I was so mad when I went did that marathon. So excited for it. And then I saw like it was just being crapped on. I was like, damn it, man. Yeah. I don't know. What would be something yeah, I don't know, man. I'm totally confused. Like I want to say something horror, but then I feel like maybe that's kind of still promising right now with The Exorcist Believer coming out here shortly. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I had never been freaked out from a horror movie trailer and then that one, and I wanted to cry because it just looked like pure gold.
And you're like that's saying a lot because you do better with horror than even I do. So
oh man. Yeah, and I watched The Nun too. Better than the first one. But it was like it's fine. That's all. That's my review. Yeah. Better than the first one. Okay.
I just bought Midsummer because over on Challenge Accepted we're gonna give away copies of it.
Oh man.
Because neither of us have watched it yet.
Yeah.
So we're gonna watch it and then we're gonna give away copies of it. So I just bought the Blu-ray with like all the digital copy and shit. So I'm excited.
For sure. Yeah. Don't let that excitement get too high for you, okay?
No.
So, but I'm not an A24 fan. I hate when fucking
I know you're not. I know I am though.
Oh my God. It just you'll watch it. It just
you're more of a Blumhouse guy now though, huh?
I do love Blumhouse.
Yeah. They do good stuff too.
And with I know we're jumping off a little script.
That's okay.
But with a lot of people, always praise A24. I don't see it. Whatever. Minority here about that. But Halloween is up for grabs. I guess they finished their whatever the rights with Blumhouse, and now A24 might be in one of the leading contenders to grab the franchise, and they talked about doing a Halloween series. And I'm just like, oh, what a fucking stab my eyes out, right? Because I don't want to see that. But
but Blumhouse only did so good on that. Like they didn't do excellent with the new Halloween. I think.
No, you're right, and you're right because I think the third one was acceptable. The second one was I was not a fan at all. Actually, I think the first one was my favorite. Yeah, first one was my favorite. The other two, the first one, the second one, I did not like at all. But
there's something that we want the writers to work on is actually struck like a good Halloween series. And what I mean by that is one that's not too fucking full of story. I know that sounds so stupid, but we want him to have a knife and a house full of teenagers. That's it. Like, don't have to. A guy broke loose and he's pissed off with somebody. Just let him go. That's all we need. We don't need like this one kid who's also got anger issues and he finds him in a sewer. Blah blah blah.
Right.
Do not give a crap.
Yeah.
No. Okay, sure. That one's his sister. He wants to kill everybody in the house. Go for it.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah. Easy. And I think we just need like improvements, man. Like it's a bummer when you go from It 1 to It 2 because It 2 was god awful to me. Like what happened?
Yeah,
It 1 was a masterpiece.
It was.
So with the release of Derry, I think it's just called Derry for the TV series. I hope with and I don't know if that's fully done, but with the strike, I don't know, man. Just keep things to its roots. I guess I will say that's my hopes for horror itself in the future with this writer strike being done.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, what are we doing with Marvel, man? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. We have to. I think the best thing to do, honestly, at this point, is to just like, hey, here's Fantastic Four, here's Doctor Doom. I think we need to just kind of like. I know for Loki right now they said that Jonathan Major's arrest didn't affect Loki at all, which starts this October 5th. It starts this week, and again we're going to review every episode on Challenge Accepted, yada yada yada. But I have a feeling that they might have done something at the end of Loki to kind of justify maybe King's not the biggest problem. I think we might have to have that happen.
Okay. Yeah, what a bummer. So you're actually gonna watch Loki, huh? That's upsetting.
I love
Yeah,
Loki. I love the first season. I
Oh my
freaking
god.
loved it. I love time travel stuff. So yeah.
Oh man, I just think they killed Loki, man. They stripped him of everything. Now he's just Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, but that's the point. Is there's multiple Lokis. This Loki's just Tom Hiddleston, but there's other Lokis.
Yeah.
He's not the Loki that we saw move forward. No, the Loki died in Infinity War.
Yeah, no, I thought he was. I thought it was all a trick. It's like,
no, that one was real. The one that got choked out by Thanos, that's our Loki. This Loki is one that was pulled out of time in the Battle for New York, I think. Yeah, pretty sure. When they went, because when they went back in time to go like do the Thanos shuffle, in that loop they had made a new branch. That's the Loki that we have. It's not the Loki. What? Yeah, it's not our Loki. This is a side Loki.
Oh my god!
And they already said that Loki's gonna be meeting Thor in this season too. So Thor's gonna be in season 2 of Loki.
Okay. Well, I saw the early reviews for Loki, and it doesn't look promising for the first 4 episodes.
No, I saw those too. Fuck IGN.
Yeah. So, which just stands on me not watching it at all.
I know.
So, yeah.
When I give you my reviews, you'll know that they'll be more truthful. I don't get paid by Disney, so I'll tell you the truth.
Okay.
Or whoever pays IGN.
Okay. But if you were getting paid by Disney, though.
I'm not hating that idea, Disney. I can't be favorable in my negative reviews. So come on over. Speaking of Disney, those Lorcana cards, because they did not know how huge they were going to be. I keep showing them off, asshole.
Sorry, Nick. I'm ready to go.
They're actually going to reprint the first wave for people who didn't get their chance at them. So they're going to reprint those. So the second wave's coming out in November. But they're already going to reprint the second wave too. And for the US, both the first and second wave reprints are coming out in December. And then for the rest of the world, it'll be in January. So I need to talk to Sammy and say, hey, man, in December, you got to be on Lorcana call. Yeah.
Dude, he might have a starter deck for you right now. So you might just need to text him.
That's happening. Yeah. That's happening today. Tomorrow, then, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Because he sent me a car full of starter decks that he grabbed. And he's like, which one you want? I was like, well, I want to make a Tinkerbell deck. And she's basically steel on some of my favorite cards of her. So I need the steel deck. On top of already getting 2 of the Moana Mickey decks because I had to build the best of version of it. So we played a little bit together, me and Sammy. A little bit of flaws from what I hear. Brand new playing it, so we're learning as we go.
Of course.
But we were pretty dead on playing it. It's really enjoyable. It's a mixture of Pokemon and Magic. It's the best way to describe it. And I like it. It's fun. It's pretty simple. It's not too hard to grasp. But there are like, if you think a little bit deeper into it, then you can start laying in the combos and whatnot. But with the reprints, man, finally, right? But for the collector, right? You better sell those cards because it's probably not going to be worth as much if you got a specific one,
That being said, they said that the reprints are still going to local comic book shops, not to Amazon. So,
that sucks.
It sucks, but it does keep that collector's thing up a little bit because if you're not on top of going to your local comic shop, you're still screwed.
True.
And so I'm going to be talking to both my local shops because now I have I have a D&D shop dedicated to D&D, and they get the Lorcana cards in. So I'm like, okay, you guys, nobody thinks about you guys, so
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Sweet.
When you're playing Lorcana, do you feel like you have the option to really build any, like you're saying you're built a Tinkerbell deck? Do you think we're going to see like a Hook deck or a Beast deck?
I think, so they really tailor it to having 2 colors, kind of like a Magic in a way, 2 colors max. Well, except for Lorcana Max, you got the 2 colors. But the way I see it as, you have, so I have a Dr. Facilier in my deck. But I can boost Dr. Facilier up with this other card, but you have to lay it on him. So I feel like if you can really tailor it to what I want is a giant Tinkerbell, basically it's pretty dope because the art is her overlooking a ship. And the one that's really costs like a couple $100 is like this hollow version of her actually holding the ship and she's looking down at it. So that's like a card where you would slap on Tinkerbell. So in a way, if you get multiple versions of that, your goal is to boost up Tinkerbell to be stronger. And my Dr. Facilier, obviously is the same thing. I don't have the card right in front of me, but it goes from like a low attack, low defense to something bigger with multiple perks to it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, there's ways to do it. Mostly mine is trying to overpower the opponent with characters. So trying to rapidly draw them and sing songs to like bring them out, which is a attribute in the game.
That's the thing from somebody who can't get a damn deck. That's the thing I've been wondering is how complicated is this? Does it feel as strong as, like for Magic, you could just pick any direction and really build a deck for it. And so I wanted to see, is Lorcana going to be that, you know, that deep, that strategy forward? And it sounds like it probably is.
It can, but I will say it's less complicated to play than Magic. I feel like the spells or whatever when something that comes with the card is more simplified than reading a Magic card.
That's
if it had
nice.
like something to it. So it's not that bad. And a lot of the fighting has damage counters on them, so that part is what reminds me of Pokemon, really. So
yeah, that's kind of nice though, because some of the like Magic cards in the last like 5 years, I think are just getting ridiculous. Like, I don't need to read a textbook while I'm trying to play a card game. So okay.
Oh man, I just bought some new cards of the newest Magic expansion because it's about like fairy tales. Yeah. No, just like, oh my god, yes, I want the fucking gingerbread card. Right? Yeah. Gingerbread man. So I ended up pulling that, but I'm like, oh, Magic, you get me, man. You get me.
I was very good and didn't buy the Lord of the Rings one. As much as I wanted it, like the art's gorgeous. Man. Yeah. I was very good and didn't buy it. So I was like, all right, kudos, Frank. You could buy a Funko Pop, and you did good. I haven't bought a Funko in a while, but it's about that time. They keep showing. Shit. There's a bunch of them coming out right now for the conventions coming up for next year and stuff. They're like, so screwed.
I know, especially for Halloween, because one of my big ones are the horror ones. And I saw a Chucky's Bride one, which the bride itself, but with like half of the face messed up. I'm like, oh my god, I've been doing really good too, not buying pops. I've actually been kind of selling them. But I'm like, shit, I'm buying that. And then, okay, yes, you already talked about like Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me how the fuck I still get scared. I'm playing it on my Switch, but on the TV, for distance away. Like there's sun out, and I'm fucking like, oh shit, like something jump out at me. But and they came out though with all the characters in Christmas outfits. So
that's cool. That's dope.
Gonna have to go on my mantle, you know, just like
I'm looking forward to that game, dude. Did you or the movie? Did you see that this is crazy. They're making a restaurant that's Five Nights at Freddy.
Like a temporary like pop-up one or somewhere else. Yeah, I think I heard about
Chuck E. Cheese, like but it's all Five Nights at Freddy.
Oh man, dude, I would just see. I don't know if I was being chased by one of those robots, like at the restaurant. Like, let's just say they have that. Oh my god, it's gonna be so weird running away from that with a huge fucking boner. You know, like,
my fat ass is like, are they gonna have pizza?
Yeah. Oh shoot, you know where they doing this thing at?
I don't know, but luckily it'll probably be in LA. So if it's open by the time we're down there for BlizzCon, we're going.
Oh
my
gosh,
want to see that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah.
Next up, speaking of Disney, we're talking about Lorcana. We're also talking about Disney Plus. They're going to be doing the whole banning the password sharing thing. They're starting in Canada, but it'll eventually go worldwide. So that means I'm going to stop watching Disney Plus for a little bit. Cause yeah, I'm not getting it eventually, but like right now I just have it endlessly because, you know, Jonathan. And so now I'll just wait till, you know, the next Ahsoka or Mandalorian or something like that. Or Loki.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's just business, right? They would make their money and not feel abused, but maybe that means that maybe the family sharing might be something. Not family sharing, right? Is that what it would be? Yeah,
that sounds right. Yeah,
like a family account, whatever. Maybe I don't know if that's something that they already had developed or not, though. But
probably not for multi-house though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like, if I did have a daughter, right, that lived in a different house, how come I can't have her, right? So I don't know.
My thing too is I am a big Hulu fan. Like I'll pay whatever premium I can for Hulu. So I know that there's a combo with Disney Plus. That's probably how I will get it. Is I'll just get that with ESPN because I wouldn't mind having a better ESPN too. So that'll work out. Especially since this is the year, hopefully, for the Cowboys. Fingers crossed. Don't look at me like that.
Okay. I'm not gonna say anything, but I have been saying at work they've been scoring a crazy amount of fucking points each game. Well, Maybe not the one that they lost, but they're like 30 something points per game, right?
Yeah.
Well, almost, right? So I'm like, holy
Yeah,
shit, man. They're they're pretty serious.
It's 108 to 13 points out of
Oh
four.
my gosh.
Other than Cardinals, it's 108 to 13.
Damn. Yeah. And I got some 49er fans at work, and I really do hope the Cowboys beat them.
You and me both. And right? We're playing D&D that morning. So me and Dan are going to be in the same room that morning. If he brings that Niners jersey to my house, I'm going to stab a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
He better not wear that damn jersey in my house.
Oh, man. I didn't even think about that.
Not saying I'm not going to wear my Cowboys jersey, but it's my house. So it doesn't matter. Oh, man.
Shit. That's funny.
We are playing. I cannot believe we're playing D&D so early. Like, I'm down for whatever you guys want to do, but man, we're doing like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to have to like get up early to practice my dragon voices, man. It's going to be
I'll bring, you guys have a local coffee shop like in the area?
Yeah, we got Starbucks and whatever, Dunkin' and stuff.
Maybe I'll do a Starbucks run for everyone.
That sounds good. I'll definitely have a pot of coffee going too, so there's always that.
Okay.
All right, and Netflix has revealed a bunch of new stuff that they're coming out with, a bunch of new trailers. One of them, I knew, okay, wait, we gotta talk about Squeaks. We gotta talk to Squeaks about this one. They're doing, it's a new one apparently, oh god damn it, Frank. Devil May Cry anime series. Done by the Castlevania team. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh my gosh. So I saw the trailer and I was like, damn, this makes me want to dust off my Devil May Cry animated series that they already did DVDs, right? Yeah. Now, I have 100% hope for this thing, right? Mm-hmm. He looks gorgeous as hell, right? Oh my god, so sexy. And it's done by one of the greatest, in my opinion, greatest animes ever done ever, which is Castlevania. Yep. Oh my gosh. And they just released a new Castlevania that is a little art style is different than the last one we've seen. I don't know much about it. I just saw it and I was like, what the hell? I didn't hear anything about this. I'm shocked that it just kind of flew under the radar. Yeah. But I really love the freaking Castlevania anime. So, oh my god. Yeah, I'm excited for this. Oh,
I'm hoping this revitalizes Devil May Cry because I had mentioned in the headlines for this, I was saying like Devil May Cry is one of the most brutally underappreciated franchises in gaming. And one guy's like, what are you talking about? Everybody knows about Devil May Cry. No, not any newer generations do. Devil May Cry hasn't had a really decent game come out in a long time, in my opinion. And we need to start you know what I'm saying? Like we need to bring back the old school Devil May Cry, like Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3. And like right now, everybody's hungry for Bloodborne. Why make Bloodborne when you can make Devil May Cry? It's the same kind of feel. So I think we should definitely do that, my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Devil May Cry 5, which was the latest one, but you did jump around different characters, which is not always bad, but I really did enjoy it compared. Yeah, and that's it, right? That's the heart and soul, right? And that is Devil May Cry. And I really liked 4. 4 was more like Nero, if I remember right. It's been so many years, but I played it multiple times. But 3 is what killed me off a little bit. I just did not like 3 at all. But I don't think they're like, man, maybe I want to play Devil May Cry now, the 5th one. But it would, maybe this does revitalize it a little bit, and maybe we can get like a true reboot, maybe we're still with all the characters, new characters, and they're all there, but legit Dante focus driven.
Yeah. Final Fantasy VII remake style. Like I want something that clean. And because I remember so well just being blown away when I was younger. Those whole where you would swing them up in the air, pop, 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 shoot them while they're in the air. Just like the coolest combos that made me feel like a badass, which is a very big part of gaming.
Just imagine okay, because I had that same feel when I watched the trailer or whatever. When I bought Devil May Cry and one other game, some Gundam game, before I knew I was even getting a PS2. I was like, I don't care. I know I'm gonna get it for Christmas. So I literally had Devil May Cry and this Gundam game on my shelf before I even had a PS2. A good thing the parents did the right decision and got me the PS2. Because I would have fucked up their Christmas. No, I was kidding. But seeing that though, where you hit up the enemy in the air and you're shooting him and he's standing there, oh my gosh, was that just a mind blowing fucking video game action gameplay ever or what? And now he does a million different combos and it's like, oh yeah, that's normal, that's basic.
I know, but at the time it was so revolutionary, it was so cool. Crazy. And then even the cinematic in the beginning where I think he was at the bar or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, why is this not a movie? This guy should be a movie.
Yeah.
And now we have an anime for it, so that'll be really dope. But I just cannot wait.
Yeah, so exciting.
We also have an anime coming up for Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft, which is going to be using the kind of reboot version of Lara Croft, which is good. That again, they're making a movie for that too, so there's all kinds of stuff coming up for that.
I think she was wearing her old outfit, wasn't she? Or am I wrong on that trailer?
She's wearing I think she's wearing the new outfit. It's the blue top. I think it's the
blue top. That's the old school one.
Yeah, it is the old school one, huh? It is the old school one. She's
But
using the bow and arrow though. That throws me off because bow and arrow is straight up the newer one. You don't see the old one use the bow and arrow as much. She's mostly known for the 2 pistols.
Yeah, and I'm kind of over the new Lara Croft stuff. You know,
really, I like her better than the old one.
Okay, I mean, game wise, I think the games are phenomenal. But I think it's like, okay, I get it, but I kind of miss my old Lara Croft. I don't mind if you like make her almost feel like the new Lara Croft, but you gotta give me those short shorts with them pistols, baby. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
12-year-old Squeak's playing the video games in his room, like, oh my god, I got feelings.
Look at the PlayStation covers, like, girl. Oh man.
Last couple bits that Netflix announced, we have Captain Laserhawk, which is going to be a game based off of the Blood Dragon expansion for Far Cry, essentially. So it's this like cyberpunky world. There's a bunch of Ubisoft references in there, including Rayman as a news reporter. There's an assassin from Assassin's Creed. It's really weird. I couldn't 100% tell you what the show's about. So, but it's an anime and it looks really good. Just crazy.
Okay.
They also put out a new clip for the Scott Pilgrim anime, which shows how close it's going to be to the source material, including the movie. And then we got a trailer for Masters of the Universe Revolution, the new series of that, or new season of that.
Yeah, awesome.
A lot coming out. Next up, let's go ahead and dig into just a quick. Yeah, you don't have to. All right. Lastly, no, hold on. Next up, let's go to the games to keep an eye out for in October. Shout out to Kevin who wrote this entitled article. He couldn't be here for the recording, but he wrote a whole article of all the games that you guys should be checking out. And okay, so 2023, best year in gaming, right?
Oh my gosh.
October, the best year of the best month of the best year, I think, in my opinion. Yeah.
Okay.
You do. I'll show you. Assassin's Creed Mirage. That's coming out at the beginning of the month. I'm not even buying it because like I got too much money to be spending later this month. Wargroove 2 is very good if you guys haven't played Wargroove 1. Forza Motorsports. That's a staple for the Xbox.
It is. It is.
Lords of the Fallen. Sadly, is going to be overshadowed by everything else. But if you guys watch the trailer for that, that'll be a game that will be big later on.
Man, that game looks freaking awesome, though.
Oh, like, man, when they got that music coming in.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah.
Sonic Superstars. Did you have a chance to check that trailer out?
No, but I saw a couple things about it, and it's basically what, like a modern upgrade of the like old Sonic, right?
It's the old school Sega Sonic side scroller, just looks clean. It's what they do with the Marios now.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Super Mario Brothers Wonder is coming out this month. Are you picking that up?
Oh man, I told myself I wouldn't buy any game except for one of them that we're probably going to announce here shortly.
Yeah, that's my next one.
Yeah. And so I might wait. I'm so in the fucking hole when it comes to beating certain games. I don't know, but then it's like, oh, Elephant Mario, like, oh, I want that shit. You know, I don't know. Are you picking up day one?
I don't know about day one because day one happens to be the 20th when we're also getting Spider-Man 2. So it is going to be a very like expensive day. So, and I'm like, do I like, honestly, I would rather buy a collector's edition of Spider-Man 2 than have two games that I'm only able to give time to one of them, really. Especially since we have BlizzCon like a week away from this. So like I have to really dive into one of these hard. I know all the money's
gone. I spent like last BlizzCon. Yeah, gosh.
BlizzCon even started, you were at the shop spending more money.
Dude, I was already like trying to find out what credit card still had like money on it.
Oh man.
It's true. By the way, I'm good for that week. So work knows. I'm taking Thursday, Friday, obviously Saturday and Sunday, and I'm taking like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday afterwards too because I'm gonna stay there, Disneyland. So.
You gonna stay at Disneyland?
Yeah, I was gonna come with the girls.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was worried about the Thursday. I was like, if I gotta fly down there real quick, or if I gotta drive myself or whatever. But I'll carpool with. We're just gonna elect Daniel driving, right? Sounds good.
Yeah, I think they'll surprise Daniel. You're driving us now.
We just kind of figured that was the plan the whole time. So
yeah, I'm always down for that. He drives fast, so I'm liking that.
Okay.
Yeah, so Spider-Man 2. I don't know if there's a collector's edition for that. I'll have to look that up, but I think I'd.
Okay.
You know what? I think it comes with a statue of Venom.
That's right. That's right. Oh man, I don't know. That one's probably sold out already yet or whatever. But
I'm looking it up right now. But yeah, I bet
yeah.
it is.
Venom's so sexy. That last trailer looked so good with the 2 Spider-Man swinging in to fight Venom.
Guess how much it costs? This is what's going to stop me. $229. Sorry, I lied. I cheated. $229. But it does come with that sick-ass Venom statue.
Oh, man. Worth.
Yeah,
you're pre-ordering it, right? You got it?
I'll just leave that. I'll leave PlayStation.com up right now. Yeah, it is. I cannot wait for that game. I will be playing the hell out of it, 100%ing it. It's so good. Yeah. What game? Yeah. Let's say this way because I think we're both Spider-Man 2. What game other than Spider-Man 2 are you most looking for? By the way, Alan Wake 2, Ghost Runner 2. Like we have a lot of other really big games coming out this month. What else? Okay. What else are you looking forward to?
God, there's so many games. Okay, so yeah, you name Spider-Man, you name Mario. I'll try to go nothing from that.
Return of Moria, like that's another big one.
Let's do something that's on my list that I kind of seem interested in will be Hellboy, right? I think that's October 18th.
Yeah.
Looks all right. Definitely not day one.
Accuracy, like it feels very much like the comic. 100%
that it looks just like the comic. Maybe this is something that's needed in the Hellboy universe, right? I don't know. I don't know because I'm not sure if the movies are being like what they. I don't know.
I know.
To be.
I know they're supposed to be making another one, but like I don't even like. Just give it a rest.
Guys. Do you think Hellboy can break that ceiling of just being capped out of where it has been with the latest movies?
I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Like I almost want like Hellboy versus Spawn or something fun like that. Like just give us something so wacky that's just cool.
God, don't talk dirty to me. Shoot. Yeah, because they both beat hell. Freaking hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the art style did kind of capture me a little bit. The art style kind of captured me a little bit, but I don't know. But I'm surprised. Are you about to mention one right now?
No, I was saying if it's like $30, I'd buy it. If it's gonna be full price, I'm not gonna grab it.
Yeah, no, it's on sale game. Now there's a game that's coming out before Spider-Man, and you have not mentioned, but I'm waiting for you because do you have a game that you're about to say right now that you're interested
Endless Dungeon? I don't know. I got Wargroove 2.
Oh my god. How many times do you fucking talk about this on the podcast? Gargoyles Remastered. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
October 19th.
Yes. That is the remaster of the old game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, it's one of the hardest games of the year. It's so hard to play that game. The remaster looks good. It is so hard to beat that game. So keep that in mind before you go diving into it.
Okay. Yeah. Now you think this is maybe a revitalize of something potentially in the works for Gargoyles animated series?
The comic books are freaking killing it.
Really? There's now so you think we'll see this on the screen soon or what?
We might, but I don't know. Like the comic books are doing so well, and now they have another comic, but they have the Dark Ages one, which is the prequel to Gargoyles. Both are doing really well. Yeah, that one's all in Middle Ages. So
okay, that's cool.
So Gargoyles is doing really well right now. Just not the series. It's not all in the series. Hopefully, we will because Greg Weisman, the guy that made the series, is the one writing the comic books.
Oh, nice, damn. Okay.
Yeah, good call on that one though. I forget about that one. Yeah. For me, I think Wargroove. If you guys haven't played Wargroove, check that out. Wargroove 2 is coming out, much like Advanced Wars, but it's super colorful, super bright. That pixel art, it's really good. And then Assassin's Creed Mirage, like it's just a shame it's coming out this month because if it was a different month, I'd be super excited to play it. But man, we got way too much shit coming out, and again, we got BlizzCon coming up. So, but the fact that it's to return to form, I hope it does very well, so that Ubisoft keeps doing these. I just, tough to get into.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to be going over to our review for Gen V. And then when we come back, we'll talk about Ahsoka. All right. Let's dig into Ahsoka. We had the entire series come out. We're past the finale. We're gonna get into spoilers at this point. So, first initial impressions off of Ahsoka. What did you think of the series as a whole and this finale?
Series as a whole, I will say it. I think I donned it as like the greatest series of Star Wars. There's way too many episodes where like this episode is tailored to visual effects and scenery and a little bit of storytelling, to where the next episode would be like things are going, like the plots, you're seeing it happen, and it's not just a standstill that it felt like in the course of multiple episodes. I was into almost every single episode of what was developing. Now, do you as a series, what would you rate this in your Star Wars series?
You know, I didn't think anything could beat Mandalorian, and I feel like it's as good as Mandalorian in a very different feel. Like Mandalorian is a Western, and this is a samurai story. You know, like they have just completely different feels, and I like that. But like that, like even the music during the fights with Ahsoka in it have like the Japanese influence behind it. Their way they fight looks like two samurais going 1-to-1, like whenever Ahsoka and Balin would go at it. And I really like their pulling inspiration from the original movies while they're expanding on like the prequel movies. They're pulling inspiration from the original movies in a way to where it's just some of the simple things like let's explain the Force as a mystical thing, not metachlorians, where Sabine maybe very lightly knows the Force, but she could just straight up train enough to be good at the Force. When before it was like, oh, let me check your metachlorians. They're high, so you're good at the Force now. Like this actually feels much more like you'd expect out of Luke Skywalker.
Okay. Now we're gonna be talking about the final episode, right? We're not talking as a whole. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So, I don't have a lot of negative things to say about the episode. I don't know if you did or not. I was really trying to point out, like, really like stare at every single scene and be like, what do I not like? And the good news is like there wasn't really much. There was like two things, but I don't want to really talk about the negative. I'll wait until the end. Now, my thoughts of, I just want to talk about the witches real quick.
I think that's important.
Yeah. What a huge, like a opening to Star Wars that's different, right? Like so much like this horror vibe that I've never witnessed in Star Wars, right? We just always seen like
feels weird, but like a welcomed weirdness. Like, I've never seen a stormtrooper walk like that before. I'm here for it.
My God. Yeah. So when and I'm doing horrible on names, so I apologize. But when the main witch that was working on Balin, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She turned
Morgan.
Yes, Morgan. When she turned and they had like, they gave her the powers of the sword, I was like shooketh. Like, I don't know. It just it's so different. It's so different. And I love it. I love it. But even when let me see this real quick.
Even with the night troopers, like we all kind of knew that they were undead.
Yes.
Like we saw already. But the way that, like, now we know that they had like that faint green, like maybe they weren't fully undead, or maybe they were a different kind of undead. These were straight up like the bodies are moving, and that felt like some were shooting and some were just like, I don't have a gun, but I have to keep moving forward. So they were just walking forward in a staggering way that was like, we get it. They're like zombies, but they're stormtroopers. It was a really cool mix.
Oh my God, that was so hot.
When you take the Dathomir magic, it sure is the dark side of the Force, but it's magic, and so when you give those abilities to Morgan, it's not like she's becoming a Sith. She's becoming like this witch warrior with a flaming sword. And we already saw that she fought good in the Mandalorian episode with her. So we already know she fights really well. So then she has a flaming sword and more magic. And it's just like, oh man, suddenly she's a threat that she wasn't a threat before. And like, I just couldn't wait to see what happened with her. It's a shame that we didn't get to see, like, I'm glad she's down, like, for Ahsoka's sake. But I kind of wouldn't mind her going on to more episodes, I think fun play.
Yeah, because I can really see her. I was thinking like, oh man, if she's staying alive, I can see her take over this witch's cult or whatever,
Yeah.
But it's funny though, because we were talking about the zombie troopers, right? And I literally just put zombie clones dope as fuck. Like that's all I needed to write. But when they were coming back to life, I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know if I'm watching Star Wars anymore, but I love it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
and it was also kind of like Night of the Living Dead version of zombies. Not, I hate when nowadays when we get zombies, sometimes they're just shit. I mean, Walking Dead really ruined the genre in my opinion.
Yeah.
This is good stuff though. I was really on board with this, and I don't think it messed everything up too much. What are your thoughts on Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra in this episode?
Okay, I really enjoyed it because I think we saw a couple things. I will say, okay, so let me start fresh.
Mm-hmm.
I saw things that I didn't really see before, maybe in Star Wars. One of them being is where Sabine was like, "Hey, I'm gonna get you across this, and I'm gonna use the Force to kind of lift you." So when Ezra jumped and she used her Force, I was like, "Huh, oh shit, I don't know if I've ever like, I mean, I could be missing some, but really witnessed that before."
It's something to me. It felt like something like I could see that being a thing you would do in a video game, and it's interesting that they're trying it here. You know,
yeah, it's just double jump, but I like that. Man, I tell you what, it's so small. But one of my favorite scenes was when them three walk into the room and the Morgan standing in front of them with the sword. Ahsoka's in their center. They all have lightsabers out and they walk around.
Yep.
My God, I was like, who thought of this? This looks amazing. But that's like what I want when I see them. When I see multiple Jedis and they're going up the staircase and they all have their lightsabers out, I just want to see that shit flashing on my screen. Like, it really seems like a squad of Jedis working together,
which we haven't seen since the Clone Wars. So it's really cool to see it like kind of a rebirth of the Jedi Order in a way.
Yeah,
with these three coming in to just kick some ass. And then on the other side of that, though, we have Morgan without a lightsaber with a flaming sword. Yeah, that's like, I for some reason, like, it doesn't make sense in a way because you're like, oh, well, normally lightsabers cut through metal without a problem. We see it happen all the time. Yeah, but you're like, no, that's just magic. Like, we're going to see some real badass stuff. And sure enough, like, when the two hit, like, the sound of, it's weird, but the sound of actual metal sword hitting in Star Wars, again, like the zombies walking around, just changed it enough to where I was paying attention to it more. And it was really neat in that way.
Yeah, I did find myself in the same thing when like these unique things were happening in this episode. I'm like, oh, put everything down. Let me pay attention because it's new, right? Which is nice because how much Star Wars that we've had, and we could finally, well, I don't want to say finally, but there's been so much Star Wars lately that now, even with all that going on or has happened, we're like, oh damn, I haven't seen something like that before.
I know. That's pretty impressive.
and that's sweet. But man, yeah. Anyway, real quick, that super small image of them in that one room, and then the Sabine and Ezra walking around like mugging, right, with the lightsabers out. I'm like, yeah, that's so fucking sexy. Yeah,
and they still moved on. I thought for sure they were just like, because Ezra younger for sure would have just charged in. He wouldn't have listened to what Ahsoka said. Yeah, but this Ezra went ahead around it, which I think is pretty good. I also like the part where they're fighting all the incoming stormtroopers before they become zombies, and and I like how Ahsoka saw that Sabine wasn't quite there with the saber and said, Sabine, blasters. And then Sabine went to the Mandalorian style and started shooting everybody up. And it was like, that's just knowing the strength of the group around you. And, you know, and just, they were much more successful that way. Then after that happened, you saw that Ezra's like, okay, I'm going to go up and start slicing and dicing. And they both moved up. It's like they were almost kind of like, well, we can't move up because then Sabine will move up with her lightsaber and she's not good. So I kind of like that they did that. It felt more effective that way.
Yeah, and that scene was actually something that I had in my negative notes, being that it felt slow. I can see the blocking of the blasters. We have, and that was a little bit actually further on. Also, even past that scene, we have so many stormtroopers, and it's like, what's the fire rate on these things, man? Like, because it just, you got so like there's so many of them. And it's like, how are these just not popping off? You know?
Yeah.
So the blocking felt slow to me, but I did like the scene itself. That was just my negative thought on that one, really.
I think we're going to see more of that because one of the themes, and we saw Anakin pop up at the end again, he was a Force ghost. I think we could all agree now that Anakin's actually a Mortis god, so he's actually more superior than a Force ghost. But so I think that's part of it, is that her living up to the training of Anakin. So he said, like, you need the team, you need to embrace becoming a master to a Padawan, and you need to know, like, the troops are in your hands, and you have to be strong enough to lead them. And that was part of it. That scene was showing that, like, much like Anakin, one of the best generals ever, Dave Filoni says best Jedi ever, she can handle that, and she can move up to that too, because she has big shoes to fill. She's gonna try to live up to be Anakin.
Now, since you brought up Anakin, I'm gonna go ahead and jump the gun. Can we be done with her inner conflict of Anakin?
I don't think it's going to be inner conflict anymore. I think it's going to be much more like looking on. I think it's going to be kind of the Yoda Luke Skywalker relationship now, where Yoda will pop up just to say like, good job, or like, you were right or you were wrong. It won't be like, oh, I don't know who I am anymore. I think now that she's Gandalf the White, I don't think we have to worry about that anymore.
I like that. Because when she played the clips when she was training in episode 7, I thought that was pretty badass. And I felt like, okay, that's something that she's holding on to. But then she finally got to the last clip and I was like, okay, is this that moment where you listen to them all, how many ever times, whatever you did, and we can move on from you being upset or whatever the thing you were going on with Anakin this whole time? Because it's got to go eventually. And I was like, okay, I think we got it now. I mean, it's awesome.
It's going to be a different relationship. Yeah, I think it's going to be a different relationship. Just like, again, with Luke and Yoda. When Luke first ran into Yoda, he didn't even know what Yoda was. Yoda was mysterious. Eventually became a Grandmaster. And now they're both Grandmasters, and Yoda knows just a little bit more, or will give him insights from the other side. Yeah. I think that's the same thing we're going to have here. On those tapes, though, she's had those tapes for years. She's listened to all of them multiple times. She listens to them for training, but I think she also listens to them for comfort, you know, because like, oh, that's my old friend. And I think there's a part of that too. And now that he's a Mortis god, and we saw that Balin, he was standing on the statue of the Mortis gods, of the father, which is what Anakin, based off of Clone Wars. Okay, so real quick. The father of the Mortis gods wanted Anakin to replace him. Anakin said, no, I have to go. He says, you'll bring death to a lot of your friends and family. He says, I don't give a shit. He goes. And so now it looks like, because of the power that he has now, that he is taking that spot. He's now the guy who's in charge of balancing the Force, which was the chosen one to bring balance to the Force. And so Balin seems to be searching out the Mortis god. So I think we might have Balin running into Anakin or something like that. Something along those lines, maybe.
Mm-hmm. How important do you think Balin will be?
Well, he'll be interesting because you're going to have to recast him.
Oh, well, yeah. Damn. A lot of death in this episode we're talking about.
Well, it's zombies. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I was kind of thinking like they wouldn't be past this series, like the season 2, to be honest. So
I thought for sure he was gonna die, and I thought for sure we were gonna have what's her name, Shin, join Ahsoka, or maybe like go join Thrawn. But now it looks like she's doing her own thing. She's going to become a little warlord amongst this like tribe, you know?
Yeah, and you know what I really appreciate, because that's us predicting what's something that's going to happen that we've already seen multiple times happen before in Star Wars. I will say with this episode, I think it was like episode 6 where Sabine handed the map over to Balin. You're like, oh shit, she actually did it. It wasn't a trick. It wasn't, you know, her like changing her mind and flipping it. And when I saw that, I was like, oh damn, we're finally like, oh, that's not expected, you know?
Yeah, so well said. Yeah, because like the thing you'd expect to happen is like Sabine hands over the map and then surprise, Ahsoka's behind and stabs through and gets it or something like that.
Yeah,
no, Ahsoka's like not there. She's like a presumed dead, and Sabine joins the bad guys for a second because she doesn't know anything else but to just find Ezra. That's a good point that this show does. So yeah, we don't know what we're gonna find. Maybe Balin walks 2 feet forward on that hand statue that he's on, and just falls off and dies.
Oh, damn. Yeah, but you know what happens in Star Wars when people fall long cliffs, big cliffs, whatever, you know.
Force Ghost.
Except for Mace Windu. Sad.
Oh man. I keep thinking of Thanos when he threw off Gamora. Could be that whole situation too.
Oh,
maybe he's trying to get the Infinity Gems. Boom. That's what it is.
And tie-in. It's like StarCraft taking over Warcraft. I will never forget when you made that like scenario for me.
I want it so bad. I mean, Blizzard, you want to make us all happy?
Well, StarCraft.
Dude, how much do you want them to? I mean, I want them to announce, maybe even more than anything else. So they're going to announce the new World of Warcraft expansion. There's a bunch of stuff they're going to announce.
Yeah.
I want them to announce a new StarCraft game so bad. I love StarCraft so much.
I feel like it's time for it.
Hell yeah, it's time. Yeah. Yeah, and the way they announce things, they announced Overwatch 2 in 2019. So I mean, like, they definitely announced shit early. Just announce it already.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what this whole Warcraft Rumble is. Is that
the like, mobile game or something like that?
Is it? I don't know. Might almost sounds like it's like Smash Bros. For World of Warcraft characters, which is like, okay, that's kind of what you did for the mobile game.
I literally got goosebumps when you said that. I hadn't heard that before.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm totally wrong, but that's just how I take it.
Okay.
Anyway, Um,
What would you grade Ahsoka? Or do you have anything else to say about Ahsoka?
Yeah, I do
What
want
would
to
you
say
grade it?
a couple things I really enjoyed about like when I'm picking apart this episode. I think and you're gonna have to help me out here. The droid, is probably like my favorite droid in Star Wars.
Huyang, yeah, mine too. Yeah.
Oh man, we're talking about like with the part for me, Ezra talking to him, about the pieces of the lightsaber. Talking about
dude, like hit me,
oh,
man.
yeah. I was like, oh, the feels, man. But just how this one is, this droid is experienced, well communicated. He's flying ships, building lightsabers. He's been around forever. He's known like all the other prior Jedis. Like, I think this is my favorite droid, and it's not.
I fully agree with you, and that's hard because R2D2 is freaking dope. Chopper's dope. R2D2 is my number one, but this guy's up there, man. Huyang. And voiced by David Tennant, who's, from Good Omens, he's Doctor Who, he's all kinds of things. Somebody did the math on it. It says he's 25,000 years old. So way older than the Jedi Temple, the Jedi Order. So.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
A little more than I thought.
We were talking about it on Challenge Accepted, because he tells the stories to Ahsoka, and he's that old, maybe all of Star Wars is just being told through him.
Hey.
In a galaxy far, far away. That's literally, she asks, or he's like, which do you want to hear? Star Wars, the history of Star, or whatever, the history of the galaxy part 1, 2, or 3. And she says part 1's my favorite, which is a, wink to the prequels. And then he's like, okay, in a galaxy far, far away, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, like the beginning of the Star Wars movie. So literally every Star Wars movie could be being told through Huyang.
That's interesting. Weird theory. Wish I had that time in my hand in my life to just calculate how old he would be and shit like that. But it's true. Let's see, because I had quite a bit of comments that I wanted to bring up on.
Yeah.
One thing that I did like is, which reminded me of like an Obi-Wan and Anakin thing, was when Huyang, saying that right, was saying why Ahsoka was hesitant on training Sabine because of what she might become, and that is when the Mandalore was basically destroyed. So using her powers of revenge, I was like, oh my gosh, that kind of what you were getting those vibes sometimes when it came to Anakin and Obi, and I'm like, damn, man, like just little subtle things that I don't know, maybe I just in the zone on this episode.
But not only that, but she knows that when a Jedi gets angry or too attached, she's seen it with her own master, becomes Darth Vader. So I think she's so afraid of the Darth Vader situation that it really messes up her choices.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like that. But I also, one of my favorite things about this was we finally got it. There's two fucking sides in Star Wars, right? You got the Empire, Rebels, dark side, light side, and we finally got to see it again. And it's probably been since like Empire Strikes Back. But an ending where the villain essentially got, away, or got won in a way. And I was like, about damn time. I'm a dark sider. Hey, I'm an Empire, man. I will do whatever.
I just like good stories. And the fact that Thrawn is gone, I'm now sitting here, like in a simpler storyline or whatever, you'd be like, okay, our heroes won, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. This one, we're like, Ahsoka's fucked. The galaxy's screwed. Like, you got to remember, at this point, our next story, I believe, is Mandalorian season 4, and they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, there's Thrawn!" like they don't have any clue that he's coming. We know that, we know that Ezra kind of is talking to Hera, so he would say, but like Dathomir, there's a reason that they're bringing a ton of coffins to Dathomir, which is now going to be like the new fortress of Thrawn. Like, oh my god, like. I think he's like legit the Night King from Game of Thrones with all his White Walkers, but they're gonna be like taking planets over and stuff.
Making me horny. Oh man! But that was something that I feel like we haven't seen since Empire Strikes Back, and me being like a fan of the dark side and the Empire and stuff like that. It's like, man, we got a dub, right? But it's perfect because there's two sides. You're not just gonna have the good guys win every single time. That's
against the odds every time too. Like it's always against the odds. Yeah, that really felt good. And we talked about it earlier, how they always subvert our expectations. Because when Thrawn's giving that speech to Ahsoka, it felt like a badass move on his part. Is like, you know, I wish we got to meet face to face. You being the you know, the apprentice to Anakin. Maybe you're more like Anakin than you know. Kind of messing with her mind a little bit, like, you know. And then we would expect normally for her to pull some trick to where like he turns it on and like, oh no, Ezra shut off the power core so it couldn't go into warp, so she gets on or hyperspace.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what we would expect. Nope, left in the dust. You're abandoned in this galaxy.
And now it's like, oh shit, she really like couldn't keep up or whatever when he hyperspace, and she was just there. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, well, we still got like 10 minutes left. Ezra's still there.
Right.
No, Ezra fucking went home. Like, shit, man, which was kind of like weird, right? Like he just stole the like a stormtrooper outfit and just left.
Which is what he does in Rebels a lot. Like he literally went through Empire training just to like spy on them. Like
okay, so you think he's gonna bring valuable information is what you're saying? Because I'm like, what was the goal? What was the goal with Ezra?
Well, I think I think his whole thing right now is like, Thrawn's moved. I have to warn the Republic about Thrawn. I think that's his whole thing because he's going straight to Dathomir. It's not like the Republic ever goes to Dathomir. Yeah, so they wouldn't know that he's sitting there building forces if it wasn't for Ezra breaking out. And Ezra multiple times has pretended to be a stormtrooper for gathering information back on the Rebels spy stuff.
Right. Yeah. Got it.
Speaking of that, real quick thing I really loved, one of the signature moves, because he has, I think it's called the Hydra, which is the name of his Star Destroyer, Thrawn's. You always see Star Destroyers in space, and they just like do space stuff. I like how he does in Rebels a lot, he brings it down to the planet and bombards the planet with it, which is like, hell yeah, you would do that. The thing's a massive firing machine. And in this one, we got to see it again, where he's like, yeah, destroy that tower we're leaving behind. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, Ahsoka's coming up with 2 of her allies. Boom, 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 boom. Like he does that shit all the time in Rebels, and nobody does it in live action. So it's cool to see it in live action, where he's just like, we've got 100 fucking guns on this thing. We're not fighting starships right now. Bombard the floor with it. He's erased towns doing that.
I've actually never thought about him, like, the Star Destroyer being like on a planet that close.
You never see it, but he brings that shit in orbit. Like I love in Rebels, like you just see like it right above them, like it almost overshadows, and then he just starts bombarding the town underneath them. And he's done it a few times. Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. One thing I thought that was kind of corny. This is an earlier series. I know I'm just talking about season overall now.
That's good.
Was Ezra basically using the Force just to fight? And I was like, oh, that's so corny. But after a little bit, I was like, no. I kind of was liking it to. It felt like Ezra's like some type of like Diablo monk, like a monk.
I kind of got the vibe that he's trying to be a pacifist for a second, like because he's been living with these people that are. It's funny. I literally, me and Thomas were exactly saying that. Like, this feels weird that he's not gonna just grab the saber. He's obviously way better than Sabine at it. But I think it was because we wanted to get the payoff of him building Kanan's replica saber. You know. That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought that was again something else that's different with the series that we haven't seen. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I wonder if like we will get like some type of martial arts like Force users that are anti-blade. Yeah. But yeah, that's my spiel.
I want a comic book series that's the 7 years of Ezra versus Thrawn in a whole new galaxy, because Ezra brings up the point like, oh, he raised the sisters again, or he woken the sisters again. Like the sisters were dead, and Thrawn found a way to bring them back to life so that they could start using their dark magic. So there's something big happening there.
Why is so loyal? Like, what's the loyalty there? I was kind of wondering about that.
Yeah, he must have brought them back, because Ezra says he raised them or he awoken them. And so it's like, what was Thrawn doing? Like, I need troops. Let me find a way to like use his dark magic, because he could probably read the Sith language because he's that smart. He would read this because on the tower that's there, it has the old Sith language that says stuff. So he probably read that and was like, aha, this is how you do it. So yeah, there's some. I would like to see those two battling it out in comic books. I think would be really good.
Yeah. I mean,
let's drop a grade on this. You could do a grade or you could do out of 10. Up to you.
Okay. 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 We're talking final episode or whole series?
Let's do the whole series. Yeah.
Okay. Whole series. I'm going. I'm going like almost perfect. I'm going like A-. Yeah.
I'm going A. I'm going 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay.
It blew my mind how freaking good this was. I did not. I mean, I knew I was excited for Ahsoka. I was not disappointed with a single episode with a single choice.
Dude, it almost felt like something awesome was happening each episode. Oh my goodness. Yeah. In the beginning, I feel like really started picking up after 5 because the 5 is with the whole Anakin flashbacks. And 6 was like, okay, shit's like happening. Dawn and all that and witches and whatnot. 7, the warning of Thrawn's back. You got God, I'm trying to think now. It's all like a straight line to me. Which one's which? Was that 8 or 7? No, the space woes when they're riding in the well itself, and then all the bombs minefield. I thought that was pretty badass.
That was cool, yeah.
And then the final episode being what it was. So
even early on when she's fighting, like I think his name was Marok or whatever. I keep forgetting how cool that move was, where she like just like dipped to one side and the saber came past her. I was, my God, that's so cool.
I think you nailed it right. You said it on an earlier episode of the podcast where I think you talked about her maturity or her experience now, and you highlighted that moment. And so when I watched it, it's like, damn, this is like a whole new Ahsoka. Like, truly experienced, like getting off the white, you know? So, yeah.
She literally went straight away.
Yeah.
So to me, it's flawless victory.
Yeah.
Perfect job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did not think that was going to be the case, but here we are.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick before we go, we like to recommend the comic books of the week. And the big one, this one is God's #1. This is Marvel's brand new franchise that they were hyping up big time at San Diego Comic-Con. So, you know, they're putting some big names behind this. 2 of the, what sounds like kind of guest heroes to help out the launch of this new franchise, Thor and Doctor Strange. Good names. So that's God's #1. I'm actually adding that to my pool list. I have busted out the pool list in a bit, so that's going on there. We have X-Men #27. Thomas has been reading up on all those. He's been kind of telling me the story with Genosis. Not Genosis. I keep saying Genosis. Krakoa and stuff like that. It's been a crazy storyline. So that's X-Men 27's coming out. We also have Poison Ivy #15. She has her own storyline, and it's been doing really well. Some of the other ones, here we go. King Spawn #26 coming out on Wednesday. And then the last one I want to make sure to shout out is Walking Dead Deluxe #72. Those of you guys who don't know, Walking Dead is re-releasing everything in color. That's the Walking Dead Deluxe series. So you guys can check that out, #27. I'm sorry, what did I say, 27? 72. Come up.
Yeah. I will say, I have the first issues of the Deluxe Walking Dead in multiple cover variants. I was like, oh God, so sexy. But they're a little thicker. I think they have like some commentary from what's the writer? Oh my God.
Robert Kirkman.
Yeah. I think there's a little extra like commentary from him in those. I mean, I haven't really opened it myself. It's just what I'm hearing. But yeah. Pretty nice.
It's just a good week for comic books all around, guys. They have a new Power Rangers franchise coming out, a new Rocketeer franchise coming out.
I'm actually reading the Power Rangers right now. And,
it's so good.
I love it. And yeah, I really do like the Power Rangers. But yeah, reading the comics kind of makes me relive like a little bit of that, even though it's a lot extra than I'm used to. I just need my Mighty Morphing. I don't give a shit about anything else. But I still read through it because they're pretty good storylines.
Same brag I've been bragging about 100 times. I'm going to brag again. Melissa Flores has been on the podcast, the writer of that franchise. Saying. So pretty badass.
For my signing autographs.
We got to meet them at at San Diego Comic-Con. I don't give a shit if I have to buy my tickets or like rob somebody at the front door. I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con next year. I guarantee it. That's happening for sure. All right. What's your recommendation for the week?
Oh, dang. Comic wise. I kind of said it. I am reading actually Power Rangers. Let's see what I'm on right now. I'm in volumes though. So we'll see. Let's see. I can't read it. Volume 10. I'm on volume 10, which is, I couldn't tell you the numbers to be honest.
Yeah.
Spawn, of course, I'm always collecting those. Not just King Spawn, but Gunslinger and Scourge as well. I'm going to recommend something kind of old. Okay. Because of this new expansion of Magic the Gathering and Storytales, I'm going to recommend the really old Grimm Fairy Tales.
Nice.
Combo.
The original ones.
Yeah. Nice. So I'm doing it. So I mean, maybe in case of the Halloween season, you guys want to pick that up? You know, a little darker than obviously, normal fairy tales, right? Red Riding Hood. It's a little bit more gruesome. So yeah.
Darker than you'd think. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like the whole Hansel and Gretel thing. It's Hardcore. Yeah. My recommendation for this week is to buy your tickets to the 30th anniversary of A Nightmare Before Christmas. They're bringing it back to the theaters on October 20th. So this week, make sure you guys get your tickets for that. I think I'm going to do that because, man, I just love that movie so much. And if you live in LA, they're doing it in 4D. So it's going to be 3D plus the theater's going to do like special things when you're watching it. So that's like extra cool. But yeah, that's going to be on October 20th. Buy your tickets this week. That's my suggestion.
That's badass.
30 years. How old are we? God damn.
I know. Damn.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us on Geek Freaks. We'll see you next week. Bye.